Hello, we're excited to show you our native speech capabilities. Welcome back to the English journey. Today, we're talking to the person who has big dreams but feels like they have no energy to start. I'm Anna.
And I'm Abel. I know this feeling very well. I want to change the world, but sometimes I just want to watch TV. Today, we will show you how to win this battle using simple English.
So, Abel, let me ask you something. Have you ever had a morning where your alarm goes off and you know you should get up and do something important, but your body just says no?
Oh, Anna, not sometimes. Almost every morning. I lie in bed and I think about all the things I want to do. I want to learn new skills. I want to build something great. I want to be successful. But then my bed is so warm and my phone is right there. And I think, okay, maybe just 5 more minutes. And then 5 minutes becomes 1 hour.
Yes, and I think so many of our listeners feel the same way. You are not alone. This is actually a very common experience. You have big dreams, you have big goals, you can see the life you want in your mind very clearly. But when it is time to actually do the work, something stops you.
It is like there are two people inside of me. One person is very ambitious. That word, ambitious, means you have a strong desire to achieve something big. You want success. You want to grow. You want to be the best version of yourself. That is the ambitious person inside of me.
And the other person?
The other person just wants to eat snacks and watch videos on the internet all day. That person is lazy. And these two people are always fighting inside my head.
I love how honest you are about that, Abel. And I want to tell our listeners something important right now. If you feel this way, it does not mean you are a bad person. It does not mean you are weak. It actually means you are very normal. Your brain is designed to save energy. Your brain wants to do easy things. That is just how humans work.
That is actually a really good point. So the problem is not that we are lazy people. The problem is that we do not have the right system to help us take action.
Exactly, and that is what we are going to talk about today. We are going to give you real, simple strategies to help you move forward, even when you feel lazy. And we're going to do it all in simple, easy English so you can practice your listening at the same time.
So, let us start with something I call the ambition gap. Anna, can you explain what that means?
Of course. So the word ambition means your big desire to achieve something, and the word gap means a space between two things. So the ambition gap is the space between what you want to do and what you actually do every day.
I feel this gap every single day. For example, I want to write a book. That is my ambition. But what do I actually do every day? I sit on my couch and think about writing a book. I do not actually write anything.
And that gap, that space between your dream and your action, that is where the pain is. That is where you feel guilty. That is where you feel frustrated. You know what you should be doing, but you're not doing it.
The word guilty is important here. Guilty means you feel bad because you know you did something wrong, or in this case, you did not do something you should have done. I feel guilty almost every night. I lie in bed and I think, I wasted another day. I did nothing useful.
And here's what's interesting. Many people think that feeling guilty will motivate them. They think, if I feel bad enough about being lazy, I will finally start working hard. But actually, the opposite is true.
Wait, really? Feeling guilty does not help?
No, it does not. Studies show that when you feel guilty about not working, you actually become more lazy because you feel so bad about yourself that you think, what's the point? I'm just a lazy person. I will never change. And then you give up. You stop trying.
Oh, that's exactly what happens to me. I feel bad, so I watch more TV to forget the bad feeling, and then I feel even worse. It's like a circle.
Yes, it is a cycle, a negative cycle, and we need to break that cycle. But we'll talk about how to break it in a few minutes. First, I want to talk about a very powerful idea called the friction rule.
Friction rule. Okay, that sounds interesting. What is friction?
Friction is a word from science. It means resistance. It means something that makes movement difficult. Imagine you are pushing a heavy box across the floor. The floor is rough, so it's hard to push the box. That roughness is friction. It slows you down.
Okay, I understand the science part, but how does this connect to being lazy?
Great question. Here's the idea. Every action you take has friction. Some actions have a lot of friction, which means they are hard to start. And some actions have very little friction, which means they are easy to start. The secret to beating laziness is very simple. Make your good habits easy. Remove the friction. And make your bad habits hard. Add friction.
Can you give me an example? I learn better with examples.
Of course. Let's say you want to read an English book every night before bed. That's a good habit. But what do you usually do before bed? You look at your phone, you scroll through social media, you watch short videos. Why? Because your phone is right there, on your pillow. It's easy to pick up. There's no friction.
That is true. My phone is always right next to me. It's the first thing I see.
So here's what you do. You take your phone and you put it in another room. Not next to your bed, not on your desk, in another room. Now, if you want to look at your phone, you have to get out of bed, walk to another room, and pick it up. You added friction to the bad habit.
And I am so lazy that I won't want to walk to the other room, so I won't look at my phone. That's clever.
Exactly. And at the same time, you take your English book and you put it on your pillow, right where your phone used to be. Now, when you lie down, the book is right there. It's easy to pick up. There's no friction. You removed the friction from the good habit.
So the idea is simple. Put good things close to you, put bad things far away from you.
Yes, that is the friction rule, and it works for so many things. If you want to eat healthy food, put the fruit on the kitchen table where you can see it. Put the cookies in a high cabinet where you can't easily reach them. If you want to exercise in the morning, put your exercise clothes next to your bed the night before. If you want to study English, put your notebook open on your desk before you go to sleep.
I really like this idea because it does not require willpower. The word willpower means your mental strength to do hard things. And the problem with willpower is that it runs out. You only have a limited amount of willpower every day.
That is so true, Abel. Willpower is like a battery. In the morning, your battery is full, but every decision you make, every time you resist a temptation, your battery gets a little lower. By the evening, your battery is almost empty. That is why most people eat junk food at night and not in the morning. Their willpower battery is dead.
So instead of relying on willpower, we should change our environment. We should set up our space so that the good choice is the easy choice.
Exactly. You're not changing yourself, you're changing the space around you, and that is much easier.
Okay, this is great. I love the friction rule. But Anna, I have another problem. Even when the good choice is easy, sometimes I still don't want to start. The task feels too big. I look at it and I think, this will take so long. I don't have the energy for this. And then I do nothing. I procrastinate.
Ah, the word procrastinate. This is a very important vocabulary word for today. Procrastinate means to delay doing something. You know you should do it now, but you keep pushing it to later. You say, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it next week. I will start on Monday. But tomorrow never comes.
I am the king of procrastination. I can procrastinate anything. I once procrastinated making my breakfast for 3 hours. I was hungry the whole time, but I just didn't want to get up and make food.
That is a very honest example, Abel. So how do we fix procrastination? We use something called the 2-minute rule.
The 2-minute rule. Tell me about it.
The 2-minute rule is very simple. When you do not want to do something, tell yourself you only have to do it for 2 minutes. That is it. Just 2 minutes. 120 seconds. If you want to stop after 2 minutes, you can stop. You have permission to stop.
Only 2 minutes? But how can 2 minutes make a difference? That is so short.
Here is the magic. The hardest part of any task is starting. Once you start, it's much easier to continue. Think about going to the gym. The hardest part is not the exercise. The hardest part is putting on your shoes and walking out the door. Once you are at the gym, you think, well, I'm already here, I might as well exercise.
That is true. When I start doing something, I usually keep going. The problem is always the beginning.
Exactly. So the 2-minute rule gets you past the beginning. You say, I will just study English for 2 minutes, and you open your book. You read one paragraph, and then you think, okay, this is not so bad. And you read another paragraph and another. And before you know it, 20 minutes have passed.
So you trick your brain. You tell your brain it is only 2 minutes, but actually you end up doing much more.
Yes, but the important thing is, even if you really do stop after 2 minutes, that is still better than doing nothing. 2 minutes of English study every day is better than 0 minutes. 2 minutes of exercise is better than sitting on the couch. Small actions add up over time.
There's a word for this, right? When a small thing becomes bigger and bigger over time?
Yes, the word is momentum. Momentum means the force that keeps something moving. Imagine a ball rolling down a hill. At the beginning, it moves slowly, but as it keeps rolling, it moves faster and faster. That is momentum, and your habits work the same way. At the beginning, it is hard and slow, but if you keep going, even in small ways, you build momentum, and eventually it becomes easy and natural.
So the opposite of momentum is what we feel when we are stuck on the couch. We have no movement, no energy. What is the word for that?
The word is inertia. Inertia means the tendency of something to stay still if it is still, or to keep moving if it is moving. When you are lying on the couch, you have inertia. Your body wants to stay on the couch. But once you stand up and start moving, your inertia changes. Now your body wants to keep moving. The 2-minute rule helps you break your inertia and build momentum.
This is really helpful, Anna. Okay, so we have the friction rule and the 2-minute rule. But I want to go back to something you said earlier. You said that feeling guilty about being lazy actually makes you more lazy. Can you explain that more?
Yes, absolutely. This is a very important topic. Let us talk about forgiving yourself. The word forgive means to stop being angry at someone for something they did. And in this case, we need to stop being angry at ourselves.
But Anna, should we not be hard on ourselves? Should we not push ourselves? If I forgive myself for being lazy, will I not just keep being lazy?
I understand why you think that, Abel. Many people believe that being hard on yourself is the way to succeed. They think, I need to be tough. I need to criticize myself. I need to feel bad about my mistakes so I don't repeat them. But research shows this does not work.
What does work then?
Self-compassion works. Self-compassion means being kind to yourself. It means treating yourself the way you would treat a good friend. If your friend said, I feel lazy today, I did nothing, would you say, you are terrible, you will never succeed, you should be ashamed of yourself?
No, of course not. I would say, it's okay, everyone has bad days. You can try again tomorrow, don't worry about it.
Exactly. So why do you not say that to yourself?
That is a very good question. I guess I am much harder on myself than I am on other people.
Most people are, but here's what happens when you're hard on yourself. You feel ashamed, you feel sad, and when you feel ashamed and sad, what do you want to do?
I want to hide. I want to avoid the thing that makes me feel bad. So if studying English makes me feel ashamed because I didn't study yesterday, I will avoid studying English today too.
Exactly. Shame makes you avoid, but kindness makes you try again. When you forgive yourself and say, it's okay, I missed one day, but I can start again today, you feel hopeful. And when you feel hopeful, you're more likely to take action.
So the message isn't, it's okay to be lazy forever. The message is, when you have a bad day, don't destroy yourself. Just start again.
That is exactly right. Forgive yourself and then take one small step. That's the formula. Forgiveness plus action. Not punishment, not guilt. Forgiveness and then action.
I really needed to hear that, Anna. I think many of our listeners need to hear that too. We are all too hard on ourselves sometimes.
Now, let's connect all of this to learning English, because I know many of our listeners are watching this video to improve their English, and I know many of you feel the same ambition gap when it comes to English.
Oh yes, the ambition gap. You want to be fluent, you want to speak like a native speaker, you want to understand movies without subtitles, you want to get a better job. That's your ambition, that's your big dream.
But then you sit down to study and you see a grammar book with 500 pages, and you think, I don't want to study grammar. It's so boring. It's so difficult. I don't understand present perfect. I don't understand conditional sentences. And then you close the book and open your phone instead.
Are you describing me right now? Because that is exactly what I do.
I am describing almost every English learner, Abel, and the good news is everything we talked about today applies to learning English too.
Let's go through it. The friction rule for English. How does that work?
Simple. Make English easy to access and make distractions hard to access. Change the language on your phone to English. That takes 30 seconds. Now, every time you use your phone, you see English words. There's no extra effort, no friction. Put English podcasts in a playlist that starts automatically when you open your music app. Follow English accounts on social media so that English content appears in your feed without you searching for it.
And to add friction to distractions, you can delete social media apps in your native language or move them to the last page of your phone so they are harder to find.
Exactly. Now, the 2-minute rule for English. Abel, how would you use this?
If I do not feel like studying, I tell myself I will just read one sentence in English. Just one sentence. That is less than 2 minutes. Or I will listen to 1 minute of a podcast. Or I will write one short sentence in my notebook. Just one. If I want to stop after that, I can stop.
And what usually happens?
I usually keep going, because once I start, it is not as bad as I thought. The beginning was the hard part.
And forgiving yourself when learning English. This is so important. You will make mistakes. You will forget words. You will have days when you do not study at all, and that is okay. Do not say, I am stupid. I will never learn English. Say, today was hard, but I am still learning. I will try again tomorrow.
That is beautiful, Anna. I think the biggest enemy of English learners is not grammar. It is not vocabulary. It is the voice inside their head that says, you are not good enough. You will never be fluent.
And that voice is wrong. Every fluent speaker was once a beginner. Every expert was once confused. The only difference between someone who succeeds and someone who does not is that the person who succeeds keeps going, even on bad days. Even when they feel lazy, they keep taking small steps.
Okay, so now I want to give our listeners a practical plan. You called it the Lazy-Proof Plan. I love that name. A plan that works even for the laziest person in the world.
Yes, the Lazy-Proof Plan has 3 parts. Part 1 is small starts. We already talked about this. Do not try to change your entire life in one day. Do not say, starting tomorrow, I will study English for 3 hours, exercise for 1 hour, read 2 books, and eat only salad. That is too much. You will burn out in 2 days.
So what should we do instead?
Start with one tiny habit. Just one. Maybe it's listening to 5 minutes of English every morning while you drink your coffee. That's it. Do that for 1 week. Just 1 week. Once it feels easy and natural, then add another small habit. Maybe you add writing 3 new words in a notebook every night. Now you have 2 small habits. The next week, add a third. Build slowly.
Small starts. I like that. It does not feel scary. It does not feel overwhelming. What is part 2?
Part 2 is clear rewards. Your brain needs a reason to do hard things, and the future reward of being fluent in English is too far away. Your brain cannot feel it now, so you need small rewards that come quickly. After you study for 10 minutes, give yourself something you enjoy. Maybe a piece of chocolate, maybe 10 minutes of your favorite show, maybe a walk outside.
So you connect the hard thing with a good feeling. You study, and then you get something nice. And your brain starts to think, studying equals good feeling. I want to study again.
Exactly. Over time, your brain starts to enjoy the habit itself, but in the beginning, you need those small rewards to keep you going. The reward should come immediately after the habit, not at the end of the week, not at the end of the month, right after.
What is part 3?
Part 3 is social accountability. The word accountability means being responsible to someone else. It's easy to break a promise to yourself. You say, I will study English tonight, and then you do not, and nobody knows. There are no consequences. But if you tell a friend, I am going to study English tonight, can you ask me about it tomorrow? Now there's accountability. You do not want to tell your friend, no, I did not study. You want to say, yes, I did it.
That is so true. I always work harder when someone is watching, not because I'm afraid of them, but because I don't want to let them down.
And this is why study groups are so powerful. This is why language partners are so helpful. Find someone who is also learning English. Send each other a message every day. Just a simple message in English. How was your day? What did you learn today? Now you have accountability. You have a partner. You're not alone.
And our listeners can even use this podcast as accountability. Listen to this podcast every day. That's your daily English habit. Tell someone, I listen to the English Journey every day. And then do it.
I love that idea, Abel. So let's review the lazy proof plan. Number 1, small starts. Begin with one tiny habit. Do it for 1 week, then slowly add more. Number 2, clear rewards. Give yourself a small reward immediately after your habit. Make your brain connect the habit with a good feeling. Number 3, social accountability. Tell someone about your goal. Find a partner. Do not try to do it alone.
And remember the other things we talked about too. Use the friction rule to make good habits easy and bad habits hard. Use the 2-minute rule to break through procrastination, and forgive yourself when you have a bad day.
Now, Abel, I want to end with something important. I want to talk directly to the person who is listening right now and thinking, this all sounds nice, but I'm different. I'm really lazy. I have tried everything. Nothing works for me. I will never change.
I know that person. I have been that person. Some days I am still that person.
And I want to tell that person something. You are not lazy. You are stuck. There's a big difference. Lazy means you don't care. Lazy means you have no dreams. But you are watching this video right now. You clicked on this video because the title spoke to you, because you recognized yourself. That means you have dreams. That means you have ambition. You are not lazy. You just don't have the right system yet.
That is such an important point, Anna. The fact that you are here right now, listening to this, trying to improve your English, that is proof that you are not lazy. A truly lazy person would not be here. A truly lazy person would not care about getting better.
So stop calling yourself lazy. Start calling yourself someone who is building a system, someone who is learning how to work with your brain, not against it. Because that's what all of this is about. We are not fighting our nature. We are working with our nature. We know our brain wants easy things, so we make good things easy. We know our brain does not like big tasks, so we make tasks small. We know our brain needs rewards, so we give it rewards.
You are not broken. You are just human. And being human means you need the right tools to succeed.
And here's the most exciting part. The people who feel the most lazy are often the people with the most potential. The word potential means the ability to become something great in the future. You haven't shown it yet, but it's inside you. Your big dreams are not a problem. Your big dreams are a sign that you have potential.
I believe that, Anna. Some of the most successful people in history said they were lazy. They found ways to work smarter, not harder. They created systems. They used tricks like the friction rule and the 2-minute rule. They didn't have more willpower than you. They had better strategies.
So, here's our challenge to you, dear listener. Today, just today, pick one small thing. Pick one tiny action. Maybe it's listening to this podcast one more time. Maybe it's writing 5 new words in a notebook in English tonight. Maybe it's putting your phone in another room tonight. Just one thing. Do it for 2 minutes, and then see how you feel.
And if you don't do it, if today is not the day, that's okay. Forgive yourself and try again tomorrow. There is no deadline. There is no race. This is your journey. You can go at your own speed.
But I want you to remember one thing. The person you want to be, the fluent English speaker, the successful professional, the confident person, that person is not someone different from you. That person is you, just with better habits. And better habits start with one small step.
One small step today, one small step tomorrow, and before you know it, you're at the top of the mountain, looking back and thinking, I can't believe I almost gave up.
And we'll be here with you every step of the way. This podcast, this channel, we are your English partners. We are your accountability. Come back tomorrow, listen again, practice again, and slowly, step by step, word by word, you will get there.
I really believe that, Anna. I believe in every single person listening to this right now. You clicked on this video for a reason. Something inside you wants more. Listen to that voice. It's quiet, but it's strong, and it's right.
So let's do a quick summary of everything we learned today. First, we talked about the ambition gap, the space between your dreams and your daily actions. Everyone feels this gap, and it's normal.
Second, we talked about the friction rule. Make good habits easy by removing obstacles. Make bad habits hard by adding obstacles. Change your environment, not yourself.
Third, we talked about the 2-minute rule. When you don't want to start, promise yourself you will only do it for 2 minutes. Starting is the hardest part, and 2 minutes is enough to break through.
Fourth, we talked about forgiving yourself. Stop punishing yourself for being lazy. Be kind to yourself, and then take one small step forward.
Fifth, we connected everything to learning English. Change your phone language, listen to podcasts, start with just 5 minutes a day. Forgive yourself for mistakes.
And sixth, we shared the lazy-proof plan. Small starts, clear rewards, and social accountability. 3 simple tools that can change your life.
Thank you so much for listening today. Thank you for spending this time with us. I know it's not easy to sit and listen in a language that is not your native language, but you did it, and that's not lazy. That's brave.
Yes, it is brave, and we are proud of you. Now go and take your one small step. We'll see you in the next episode.
Goodbye, everyone. Keep going, keep learning, and remember, the right system beats strong willpower every single time.
See you next time on the English Journey. Take care of yourselves and be kind to yourselves.